What's up, everybody? It's the AZ Flip Guys.
How's it going, guys? Oh, there you go. You can see hear that. Yeah. Fucking water cooler, man. Every time we put that shit on, it just goes back. So anyway, man, this is AZ Flip Guys. Cashflow Chris, BP the Mentor, coming to you on just some random ass shit. I'm going to be flying out. I'm going to Orlando. I'm flying out tomorrow. I got a seminar, a land buying seminar that I'm going to be attending, so we're not going to be able to do our Friday videos as we intended to do. So anyway, we just wanted to come to you with a quick video here. Real quickly, everybody, Cashflow Chris's birthday is tomorrow. Woo! Birthday. What are you fucking, how old are you going to be?
39.
39. Oh, shit, the last year in his 30s. Fucking awesome. That's all good. How does it feel to be 39?
Oh, man. But that's why I'm having a big party this year, because I don't plan on being here for my 40th. I'm going to be way on the other side of the world.
Oh, man, as you should be, as you should be. Last year, I was in the Bahamas for my birthday, so nice. That was the shit. I was actually in Miami, but I just came back from the Bahamas, so This year I'm going to be on the other side of the fucking world. I'm going to be somewhere in Europe, so nice. Fuck yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to catch everybody up here with all the stuff we're doing. Me and Chris were sitting here having our mastermind meeting today, because we're not meeting on Friday. So anyway, we're just going over some deals. We got, so we closed on a deal that we're putting together here on Wethersfield. We talked about this last time in our last video. I ran out of money to close on this deal. However, it was a very good deal. I talked to Chris. He had an investor with some money, so we said, hey, why don't we partner up on this one? So we got everything all settled up. I believe we closed yesterday, and we should be recording sometime today. So everything should be all said and done. Get that one ready to go. I think that one, the lady who was living there asked till Monday to move out, so we'll be able to start funding.
Right, yeah, that's something that's pretty common. A lot of times people, they literally don't have any money until the closing and they get their check, so a lot of times they can't move.
That's exactly what the lady's situation here. This house is pretty fucked up, man. It has some plumbing issues. The lady hasn't been able to take a shower in, like, I don't even know, months, I think. She told the guy who got us the deal. It's gonna
be a fun rehab, right?
It's gonna be nice. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a fun rehab. We got to get definitely some dumpsters. There was a lot of trash. There were semi hoarders, so quite a bit of trash on there. So excited about that. I got 3 deals that were sent to me over here yesterday, which all seem to have some type of potential. So we'll be going over the numbers and talking about those. We went over some comps here today. But it looks like there may be, 1 or 2 good deals. One deal looks like a good deal for sure. The other one, depending on the offer, and the other one may or may not work, depending on some of the terms that they'll be able to do.
Yeah, the third one is where you need to start getting creative. If you can get the seller to carry it, to let you take it over subject to, carry a note, something like that to make it easier to buy.
Yeah, I mean, this one would probably make a good subject to. It's sitting in a good neighborhood. It's definitely below market. It is going into foreclosure. It's behind on some payments. It's just too tight to make it work as a flip, but it may be a good subject to scenario. I know in this case the lady wanted like 10 grand in her pocket, and then plus whatever the hell she would be behind on her payments, which I would assume would be another fucking 10 grand after attorney's fees and everything else. So we're going to come in there, and then whatever type of rehab. I mean, the house itself, based on the pictures, was in pretty decent shape, decent condition, but it was all good. So anyway, I'm going to do that real quickly before I forget. Just wanted to give a big shout out. Is it your fucking phone?
No, man.
Motherfucker.
Turn it off.
Hey, Orlando. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Orlando?
Anyway, what the fuck was I going to say?
Jeff.
So Chris's birthday is tomorrow. Our mentor, Jeff Fagan's birthday is today. So if you guys have been following me personally, if you guys have been following Chris, you guys have probably heard of Jeff Fagan. Definitely if you've been following me, you know that I go to his 2% Club meetings every fucking day. Every fucking Tuesday. I listen to his phone calls every day, every morning.
You can recite it.
I can recite it. I take my fucking kids to it, man.
Hey, but you're a big help for Jeff, because you're his out. Anytime there might be like a slow crowd and he asks the question, he can always be like, all right, BP, what is it? You recite it word for word.
So I met Jeff many years ago at a networking event, and he was basically we started talking about the power of the mind and law of attraction and stuff. And he's like, hey, man, I have this group that we do together. And with this group, we just sit down and we talk. And we're like, oh, man, I'm like, this motherfucker's going to pitch me some fucking MLM or some shit that I don't even want to go to, right? But it ended up being actually being an actual thing. And it's still going. It's called the Phoenix 2% Club. At that point, it was free. Now he charges $5. And honestly, it's just to cover the cost of the room that we're using. But this guy, man, has just been completely amazing. Has just been completely amazing for everything that we've done. He's just really, really taught us a lot about the power of the mind. And the one thing that we want to tell you guys, you know, a lot of times we have a lot of people say, hey, man, you know, what books are you reading? What real estate courses? What new closing techniques are you using? And I say none of that shit, man. I mean, we really don't do any of that shit. A lot of our success comes from just the mental training that we got. And I can personally attest that on mine, I got another cell phone going off over here. So I can personally attest that a lot of my success has come from the mental training that we got from Jeff, from the 2% Club, from his introduction to the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, from his introduction to the teachers of T. Harv Eker, Napoleon Hill, and just everything else that Jeff does. Just been a huge benefit for me, and I know for Chris it's actually been beneficial, right?
Bro, Jeff's the man. He's sat me down just like he sat so many other people down, talk about the importance of a budget. You know, setting the foundation so you can become financially wealthy, and I mean, the knowledge pours out of him. It's amazing.
And you know what I liked about Jeff when I first met him was that he wasn't just talking this shit. He wasn't just being some fucking, you know, pseudo guru out there who was just fucking saying this shit because it sounded nice and the law of attraction and all that shit. But no, he was actually a guy who was living it. You know, he was a guy that by profession is an accountant. That's what he went to school for. He got his MBA in accounting. Then after that, he's been building businesses, and he does financial planning and as well as all the other businesses that he does. But he actually knows money, and he understands money, and he understands how the mental part of it is what really draws you to money, attracts money into your account and everything else. So him being able to put that on there, being able to just constantly do it, being able to take a street kid like me and just being able to sit down and say, look, this is what it is. This works for everybody, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you're at, regardless of how much information you do or you not have. This is what it is. This is what isn't, and this is what's worked for me. So to be able to just be there and to be able to share that and learn that from him has been just completely amazing. So Jeff, man, I thank you. I love you. Hopefully we can go hiking. He said he wanted to go hiking today, but he didn't want to go there because he had time frame. I don't know. We'll see. So maybe we'll meet up with you. Maybe we'll see. Either way, I'll get back to you when I come back into town. I definitely want to take you out to dinner, man. I appreciate it. And last thing that I want to say, and then you can say whatever you need to say about Jeff, but Jeff has been doing this shit for free. I remember telling people, man, Jeff is an old Jewish man that teaches you how to make money, and he doesn't charge anything for it. He doesn't want anything in return. He doesn't have an angle. He doesn't have a scheme. He's not trying to sell you anything. He's not trying to get you to join anything. He doesn't want anything. This is just his way to give back. And I'm so glad that I met him, because it took me 3.5 years of going and agreeing and saying yes and taking notes and doing before I actually started doing the changes. You know, he's always talking about passive income. He's always talking about financial freedom. He's always talking about the mental processes, and I agreed with him from the very first day that I met him, but it took me quite a bit of time to get there. So Jeff, I just appreciate you just constantly putting it out there, regardless of how many people show up, regardless of who doesn't. I mean, with the information that you give out, I'm just surprised that you don't have a fucking auditorium filled with people every fucking morning showing up there. But the fact that you still continue doing it, the fact that you still are very passionate about it, and the fact that you're just putting it out there, man, just thank you, Jeff. So anyway.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he really summed it up. But yeah, what Jeff does want is he wants us to be successful. You know, he cares about so many people, and he knows that he has this knowledge. You know, I mean, he was surrounded, you know, with that, and with the Napoleon Hill, he's done that his whole life. So it's something that is ingrained in him. And so, what does he call himself? A financial evangelist. And I mean, that sums it up perfectly. He is a financial evangelist. He cares about it, and he preaches it, and we appreciate it. So Jeff, I'm glad to share a birthday with you. We got to go out and celebrate, but happy birthday.
Yeah, so Jeff's birthday's today. I believe he's turning, I want to say 64, 65, somewhere around there, man. So yeah, he's definitely in his 60s, so appreciate that. But anyway, this guy still goes hiking all the time, so that's no excuse for all you motherfuckers out there. Other than that, AZ Flip Guy stuff, I'm going to be gone, so I'm going to be flying out here on Thursday, as I mentioned, so I'll be gone this weekend. I believe, I'm not 100% sure if I'll be back for next Fridays or not, but I'll be in between, because I'm going in between 2 different business trips. So as I mentioned, I'm going to Orlando for a land buying seminar, and then I'm going to Palm Springs to go meet with some millionaires and just kind of learn from them, and that's happening. So I'm flying back in for one day and then flying back out the next day and being out there for a few days coming back. So anyway, just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. We will be doing our first property tour here on February. So as I mentioned to you guys here last time, we're gonna continue the property tour, but we're just gonna do it differently.
Right.
So what we had intended to do is to create the property tour the same way that we're creating these videos, somewhere where you can watch it at your convenience, at your leisure. So we'll set up a property. We'll choose one of ours. We'll probably do Wethersfield. I mean, since we have it right there and we're going to be working on it together anyway. So we'll probably go down to our Wethersfield property that we talked about. Real quickly, you want to go over those numbers?
Yeah, follow us for progress, because we're going to take you through with at least short videos, nothing crazy, but a couple short videos every week about the progress, what we're doing, so you can see the process of what it takes. We'll talk about some of the supplies that we're going to use and finishes and all that, but numbers, I mean, we got a great deal on this one. 90,000. Our budget's right around 32,000, with a fudge factor in there, and then 170, 175. There's a lot of comps in the 200s. It's kind of a weird neighborhood.
It is kind of a weird neighborhood. Just to be conservative, I think we'll probably be closer to like 170 price point. But obviously, if we can get more, then I'm not gonna turn it away.
Once and the market's gonna change in the next 2 months. Phoenix gets better and better as the year goes by. March is a great month. April's a great month to list. So when we get to that time, we'll go drive comps as the realtor in the transaction. I'll go actually look at the comps. I'll look at stuff that's active, see what the competition looks like, and a lot of times our numbers bump at the last minute. We think one thing and we're like, no, there's no reason to list it so low. So
exactly, and like I said, we're just being conservative. So even at those numbers, at the 170 numbers, it still makes sense. But if for 90, we're going to put like 30, 32 into it. We're going to be able to sell it at 170 plus, so definitely makes sense. And then here in the Phoenix market, and I'm sure it's probably the same in most markets out there, as soon as tax season starts coming around, people are all of a sudden more buying into properties and everything else. So.
That's going to be part of our guerrilla marketing. I mean, we look at our numbers, and every year, I don't know about you, I'm sure you as well, but I pay other realtors 6 figures every year, $100,000. So we're going to be doing some guerrilla marketing. We're going to be doing some banners with the tax record, the tax return, buy this home with your tax return, those types of messages, because you can spend some money and you'll save a lot. So,
hey, Martha, how's it going?
Martha,
hope to see you soon. Martha, you're joining us for our joining us for our hike here. Well, I mean, I told everybody to be at my place at around noon, so we're like at 11:15. Still got a little bit of time. So anyway, I hope to see you later, Martha. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. We're definitely, one thing that we preach here at the AZ Flip Guys is to flip. How do I say this? To be able to leverage yourself, to be able to flip multiple properties, because if you have if you have all your eggs on one deal and all one basket, and you do good, great, but if you don't do good, man, you're screwed. And definitely, because now that we're working with money, we're working with investors' money, we definitely want to be very careful as to what properties that we get into. But at the same time, we want to create a system for all of our deals, so we know that they're constantly getting done, that everything's getting paid attention to. We want to duplicate what works. But eventually what's going to happen, though, is that you're going to want to expand, and then you're going to want to get better at finding properties. You may not want to get them from wholesalers anymore. You might do your own, or the same thing. You may not want to sell them through realtors. You may want to get your own buyers, because that's all stuff. Most of the properties that I do personally are FHA properties. So that's going to be 200,000 and below, meaning that most of those buyers are bottom of the barrel buyers in relations to credit, in relations to the amount of money that they have available. So most of them require a 3% down payment assistance. Dude, how much fucking money did I last year? Yeah, well over six figures. I mean, well over six figures, over $100,000 in fucking the just the down payment assistance.
Yeah, buyer's closing cost assistance. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but yeah, generally around 100,000 to 200,000, they're going to need 3% or right around there for closing costs. And all these people are broke. They're buying houses with no money, which we want them to buy it, but they have no money for closing costs. So yeah, we both spend a fortune.
And like I said, I include that into my cost when I'm figuring out ahead of time. But still, nonetheless, those are things that you're going to want to get better at. And then one of them, as Chris was saying, is go ahead and finding your own buyers, especially at this time of the year where there's going to be just a lot of people coming in with money that they normally don't have. So anyway, yeah, good stuff on there. Any last thing that you want to say over here before I start getting ready for my hike?
No, I'm ready, man. We got a lot of stuff going on the market. I've had a lot of people hit me up about the private money. Definitely, we're still looking for people. Just private message us. Everything's different, but we do want to get things lined up. And then I think we're also talking about some door knockers. If you don't have money but you want to get in and you're willing to.
Yeah. So yeah, tell more about same that, thing. We've got. We did get a few people hit us up about the private money. So to be partners with us. So if you're interested in becoming partners with us, just send either Chris a message or myself a message, or you can even send us a message here on the AZ Flip Guys, and one of the both of us will get back to you. So that's that. Other thing, if you live in Phoenix, and if you're in the Phoenix area and you're interested in the business, you want to get in the business, but you just don't have any money. I know, like I said, I have a mentorship program, but it's expensive, so I don't have very many people that can afford that price point. But there's still people that want to do it. And the way that I got into the industry was by a process called door knocking, and door knocking is just simply what it sounds. Hey, you're in foreclosure. I work for an investor. We buy properties. We're willing to put a cash offer on there. What do you think? And it's just as simple as that. However, I'm telling you guys right now, it's not easy. I'm telling you guys right now, it takes balls of steel. I'm telling you guys right now that most people will quit within the first 2 days or so, just because they're like, oh, I don't like that. I don't understand that. So, however, if you're one of those people that's not like that, if you're somebody who is interested in getting into the door knocking business, into the real estate investing business, I'm telling you, this is the way that I got in. This is the way that a lot of people that I know got in, and this is the way that that is just, I know for a fact, works, especially if you just don't have the money to pay for marketing, if you don't have the money to pay for mentorship, if you don't have the money to do a lot of the things that are required in real estate.
Exactly. So, hustle. If you got hustle,
yep. If you got hustle, it doesn't matter. And here's the great thing about door knocking: your age doesn't matter, your sex doesn't matter, your skin color doesn't matter. Man, you can speak chopped English and still get deals. Like, it doesn't matter. Trust me, it doesn't matter. I used to be very concerned. I used to drive up to people's car in houses in a bucket, and be like, oh man, they're going to look at me and they're going to think it's funny, and they're going to be like, how are you going to pay cash for my house when you're driving this piece of shit car? But They didn't care, man. They don't care. Martha's perfect. We'll talk when you get here a little bit later, Martha. but for sure, like I said, we're definitely looking for a few door knockers. We have a system here that we're generating some leads. We have a partner that is taking care of all that stuff, but we're definitely looking to add a few door knockers to fit into the system and be able to kind of get started, build your pipeline. And the great thing about being a door knocker, like I'm telling you, most of you guys, you're not going to fucking work out. But the ones that do, the ones that stick it out, the smart ones, understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And they understand that you're filling up a pipeline. You're going, and what you're doing right now, you may not get paid for it. Fuck, when I did door knocking, I don't think I got paid for the first 6 months or something. But man, when I got my first deal, then the second one came within a few weeks after that, and the third one came within a few weeks after that. because the pipelines were filling up.
Yeah.
Some of the people that you're talking to right now, they might tell you to go fuck off, might call you 2 weeks from now, might call you three months from now and say, hey man, is that offer still available? Hey, I'm sorry. I've had people cuss me out at the door and then call me back 2 weeks later. Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was in a bad situation, in a bad mood, blah, blah, blah. I was fighting with my wife, whatever. Yeah. And, I'm real sorry, but hey, can we talk about that? So anyway, just putting that out there.
Yeah, they're going through.
It's emotional. Like I said, we can talk about that here. So you can message us, you can message Chris, you can message me. But we're looking to do that. We're looking to go ahead and build a team of door knockers to be able to hit some of these leads that we're acquiring and to be able to get into the business. Great way for anybody who has hustle, who has heart, who doesn't mind being told no, and who's really serious about the business. And honestly, I like door knocking because it shows you who's real and who's not. If you can sustain door knocking and you can continue door knocking, man, you're gonna make it in this business one way or the other. Yeah. Because that's just the way it is. If you can't, there's a possibility that you may or may not. But I'll tell you that if you do door knocking, you can door knock and you will, man. It's almost a guarantee that you can make it in this business. But once again, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So anyway, guys, Cashflow Chris, BP the Mentor. Once again, let us know if anybody wants any partner up properties, anything else. What was that? The door knockers. Let us know. Yep. Happy birthday, Jeff. And then we'll see you guys here in a few weeks when we do our first live property tour over at the Weathersfield property that we just locked up. See you guys later.
See ya.